Hi family, it's Alicia. I wanted to do a video talking about unsightly facial hair and also my decision to go more on the freeform side of locking my hair instead of doing so much maintenance. So the first part, so I've been dealing with unsightly facial hair since I can remember. It seems like when I hit puberty, it wasn't so bad. I got, a little bit of a mustache and like my sideburns started to kind of grow in, but I didn't really think anything of it. But as I got older and things like that, my hormones definitely kicked in, and so I started actually growing facial hair, like more on my chin and like under my jaw. Um, the mustache, it never really like was a thick ass mustache like that, but um, you know, it was noticeable. Um, and recently because I've just been getting really frustrated and I'm just fed up. Like I've done the waxes, I've done the creams, I've done the all the stuff that you see on YouTube with the face peels that help to take away hair or eliminate the hair. It's the same thing as waxing, in my opinion. I've done the epilator, I've done shaving, I've done the laser treatments. Like I've done everything out there that is supposed to help remove and eliminate unwanted hair. I don't want to say unnecessary, but unwanted hair. And I have had no success. About 5 years ago or so, I was getting suggestions from people like, hey, maybe you should try getting laser therapy to help slow the growth so that it'll help to retard it so that it won't grow anymore. And the idea sounds fantastic. So I had the consultation, and I asked, because I did my own research. Like I don't just jump in and here's my money, just because someone says that it'll work. I asked, do you have clients that are my skin complexion or darker, that have come to you with this and you were able to help eliminate the hair? And they said yes. They showed me some pictures, but the pictures, they were actually more fairer skin than I am. And I was hesitant, but I was also desperate. I was like, okay, let me give this a try. I have this money. Um, it was it was like a check that I had got, and it was just extra money basically. And to care for myself, I was like, you know what? Let me treat myself. Let me give myself this gift. So I paid for it. I went. I believe it was 8 sessions or so, kind of spread out, over a couple of months. And so I went for the first about 2 or 3, maybe 4 sessions, and then I started getting like this really bad like burn look on my face, and I thought it like really messed up my skin. I called them and they're like, well, that's part of, like, they gave me the whole spiel, like it's basically part of the process, and like I may experience that, and because I signed the waiver and this and that, so there wasn't really anything I could do legally because I had signed the little waiver thing. Luckily it didn't leave any permanent scars, but it was just really disheartening, after paying nearly $3,000, and then after going through 8 treatments of that. Like it didn't hurt, but like I could feel it. It felt like somebody pricking you with like a needle or whatnot. So went through that, and then it only maybe slowed it. I wouldn't even say it slowed it down. It more or less kind of like paused it for a little bit, but then it like started back growing. And now it's, years later, it's like back to, um, it's actually, I would say, a little bit worse. And I don't know if it's because I've been doing a lot of cleansing, like a lot of stuff is coming out. Luckily, I haven't had acne or any type of rashes or anything like that. I guess my detox, I don't know, is like the facial hair. It's like coming in more. But I was listening to a discussion about women in facial hair and how it's actually an imbalance in hormones. So essentially, all this time, I'm doing all this exterior stuff instead of looking at the actual cause, which is like what's going inside my body. Who knows how long I've been eating things that have fake estrogen, because it's starting to come out now. A lot of fast foods, a lot of food actually has a lot of soy in it, which is a fake, or it has estrogen. And so I'm like, wow, like, thanks a lot. Like, my hormones are all screwed up. So now, since I've been changing how I've been eating, and things like that, I'm really having to get stricter on that, because things like white sugar, things like I said, soy, and processed foods, I just really can no longer eat. So I'm cutting those out. I'm actually gearing up for an extended fast. I call it an extended fast because it's going to be more than 5 days. It's going to be more than 10 days. The longest that I've done is 10 days. And so this time I want to actually go beyond that. I want to reach either 21 to 29 days. Originally, when I was thinking about it, the number 21 was coming up. I was like, okay, I need to do a 21-day fast. But now, as I'm thinking about it, the number 29 is coming up. And so I'm like, okay, after day 21, then I'm going to see how I feel. I'll probably feel good. But I'll just see where I'm at and see if I need to break the fast or anything. If I don't, then I will proceed the other 8 days or so. And so the whole goal is to, I'm going to be kind of documenting over the next 6 months or so. And because currently my method of removing the hair is I have a one of those dry wet electrical razors, and that's really the only thing that helps it to like not be there for so long, because the creams, I don't like how they smell, and they actually can burn, and they have burned my skin before, and like I've had like really light skin right here, and then like it just messed up my complexion. And then traditional razors, I'm not trying to like walk around with razor bumps or anything like that. So I found one that it's a lady shaver, but quite frankly, I'm just tired of the issue altogether. Like, for me, it makes me feel embarrassed, and I don't feel very feminine. Although a lot of people may not notice it, because it is more like under here, and I'm not like doing all that, throughout the day. But I notice it, and I feel very self-conscious about it when I go out. Like, if I go like this and I feel any type of like fuzz, then I know you can see it, because my hair is black and you can see it against my skin. Luckily, I'm not lighter, because then you can. Sorry, a phone call came in, but anyhow, so like I was saying, luckily the hair, I don't, And see, that's the thing, like I never let it get too full. But I'm sure if I was just to like be like whatever, I'm gonna let it go, like you guys would see a full beard and I would just be like, what the hell. But I I want to do this for myself because I want to help other ladies out there, because I've seen other ladies like just out and about, like in the store, anywhere. I've seen a lot of women that have simply just given up, and like, they have, excuse me, they've basically embraced it, which there's nothing wrong with that, but just this is just a personal decision for myself. I don't feel that I need to have facial hair, and I know there's other women out there. Excuse me, guys, I'm kind of getting over a little bit of a head cold right now, but I know there's other ladies out there who are kind of in my same kind of thought process about the topic as far as having facial hair. I've seen girls my age. I've seen some younger and some older. I noticed that most of the older women, like they don't care. They've been dealing with it this whole time, so they're just like whatever. But I really think there is a solution for it, and I'm really determined to find that solution and share it. And it just made a lot of sense, what the expert was saying about the fact that it's unbalanced hormones, and which is the cause of a lot of diseases and things like that. So today is November 22nd, 2019, and so I want to give myself roughly 6 to 8 months or so of more clean eating, more keeping processed food out of my system, and drinking a lot of water. I've already been drinking at least a gallon of water a day, so that's really good. And I give myself a pat on the back for that, because people have a hard time drinking water, which is amazing. When I tell other people about water fasting and like making sure they drink a gallon of water a day, a lot of their responses, oh, I know, I already drink that much water, but like I'll be around them for like a whole day and I don't see them drinking any water. So I'm like, I don't think you're really drinking a gallon of water, but that's your that's your truth. If you feel you're drinking a gallon of water, then fine. But you do notice a big difference when you actually do drink at least a gallon of water a day. And a little bit about the decision of being a little more on the freeform side for my locks. So when I started my locks, I didn't want them uniform, and I didn't want them skinny. I wanted them to be kind of fat ones, which I'm finding out now are called, they call them wicks, I believe, or Congos. I don't really think I want them that fat, like, because some of the Congos can get pretty, like, a big ass chunk. Like, I don't want them that big. I just want them to have, like, almost like, I can't think of the name, but, anyway, yeah, I just I want my hair to look full, because whenever I would see people with locks, they were always concerned about the retwist, which I understand. It looks neat, and it does make it look a lot more digestible to other people's eyes, to see when your hair is retwisted. But in reality, the whole premise of having locks is for it to be free and not manicured as much, because a lot of people are going for certain looks, they like how, I just keep hearing a lot of people are like, I love, how Bob Marley's hair was. And if you look at it, he actually was free-forming. He wasn't getting them retwisted every month or every 2 months. Funny, I ran into this one lady. She's the niece of someone that I know, and she has locks. And we were kind of talking, and she was like, and mind you, like as we're talking, she's like playing with her hair, twisting it, and like things like that. And she's like, yeah, she was telling me that she doesn't really do her hair that much, but I can tell she does because the roots were a little bit thinner, and you can always tell when a person uses gel, just by how it looks. And she was like, yeah, I do it maybe once a month or maybe 2 months. But I don't, she was saying she doesn't like when it's kind of like a little afro and then the lock. And I was telling her, I was like, well, I kind of did some research before really getting into or letting my hair lock up. And you kind of want it to have that little fluff of hair, afro hair, before you really retwist it. Because one, it gives the hair a break. Two, it helps your new growth to start growing in so that it can join with the lock, and things like that. And there's other benefits and things like that. It just helps the overall health of the lock, basically, as time goes on. Because I see so many people, they start off with beautiful hair, and then the receding hairline starts to happen, and it's like, how do you have locks but your hairline? And so that was one concern of mine, but I didn't want to let that detour me, because I do like the low maintenance. Excuse me, I was already starting to be more low maintenance with my hair. I had loose natural. I actually transitioned from loose natural to locks. It took about 1.5 years for my hair to actually lock together. I did do interlocking on my hair one time, and that's because it was at a point of where I could have like easily combed them out, because at that time I was kind of getting the pushback from family members, like, why are you doing that to your hair? Why are you letting your hair dread? They were calling them dreads. Either word doesn't bother me, but I just call them locks, because it is my locks of my hair. But at that point I was like, you know what, I'm going to commit to this style. So I went ahead and did one interlock. So on some of them, I mean, you can't really tell, they're kind of pretty even. This is just where I've retwisted it. Cause yeah, see, not all of them are like the same. I didn't want them all the same, but I know if I go more on the freeform side, because currently I'm doing kind of a semi freeform where I retwist every about 4 months, three or 4 months or so. But I'm actually thinking of going a year, retwisting once a year. I'll wash my hair and things, throughout the year. But actually getting it like retwisted, I'm leaning towards not doing that until in a year. So I'm still kind of contemplating, but I feel I've made up my mind. Like, I think that's going to be the better choice, because I want them full. Like, I want like the big full hair. And when I see freeforms, that's the look that I'm that I in my mind is what I'm thinking about. So I'm like, okay, well, let me go ahead and I'm just gonna maintain them the way I do with my oils and things like that. Now I was trying the rose water and vitamin E, but I don't know, it was still kind of like drying out my scalp. So I have been using also jojoba oil on my scalp, but my scalp still, um, you know, can get a little bit dry at times. So I'm actually going to try Jamaican black castor oil. I haven't tried the Jamaican black castor oil. I've tried the regular castor oil. Because originally I was hearing like kind of bad things about Jamaican black castor oil, like the smell and things like that. So I was like, well, let me just try the castor oil because it has a more neutral smell to it. But it was just, I think I just overdid it with the castor oil. So this time I'm going to be a lot more cautious and a lot more mindful at like when I'm oiling my scalp. And also I'm not going to be washing as much because that also dries out your scalp. So that could be a factor into why my scalp had been getting dry or whatnot. Excuse me. But yeah, I'm really considering freeforming because I just like the fuller look when the locks, are forming. And from what a lot of people are saying, it's going to take a lot of self-love and determination, which to this point I've had to really like buckle down and be like, you know what, this is my hair, this is how I want my hair. So I think at this point I'm ready to transition from maintenance locks to more freeform. I started out, I don't think I said this, but I started out with 2-strand twist. Looking back at it, maybe it would have been a good idea to like braid the ends, because some of them came out, doing the peace sign, like that one. So so I'm just like, okay, well, that one just wanted to have 2 ends. And then like, for those of you that, the kitchen area, that part where it was like, you would sometimes get it cut off, or like, well, when I was, doing my hair, like this part, it just never really grew. So I would cut it off, but then it started growing. And so now I have like these little baby ones that are, that started. So I have like 3 little baby ones, at the back, which they're getting kind of long too, but I'm just excited to see kind of where my hair is going to go from here. It's looking pretty good so far. I just kind of let it do what it's going to do. A lot of times I wear a hat. I'll wear a hat, or I'll wrap it up, and I do that mostly for protective reasons because with a hairstyle like this, things blowing in the wind, being out and things like that, and since it's short, it's easier to just wrap it up. So while I can, I know when it gets longer, like I'll still be able to wrap it up, but it's going to be heavier, right? So while it's still short and I can enjoy like feeling, not feeling so heavy, because it's, it's really light. Like I don't feel it as much. But yes, so I will cut this video here. This has been Alisia, and I will check you guys on the next one.